So, good morning, grade 7 learners, and welcome to another fun and exciting adventure together. Welcome to our English class. Again, I would like to introduce myself first. I am Bernadette A. Lagidao, your pre-service teacher for today's discussion. So, let's begin our day with an opening prayer. May I request Angela to lead the prayer, please? So, how are you this morning? Okay, that's good to hear. Now, please be reminded of my 3 rules inside the classroom. First, listen to my discussion and your classmate who are answering my question. Second, raise your right hand when you want to answer. And lastly, answer my question in a complete sentence. So, are we clear? So before we proceed, arrange your seat properly and pick up the pieces of paper on the floor. So, is there any assignment to be passed today? Okay, none. So, who is the absent today? Okay, very good. No one is absent for today's discussion. So, before we proceed to our new topic, who can give me a rundown of the previous lessons that you have in your previous discussion? So, according to Ian, your previous discussion is about the use of quotation marks. So before we proceed to our formal discussion, let's have first a motivational activity. So I have here a table, and what I wanted you to do is to analyze the given group. We have a group A and the group B. So again, what I wanted you to do is to analyze the given group of the sentences, write down your observation on your paper. So the direction is analyze the given group of the sentences and write down your observation on your paper. So I will give you 1 minute for you to observe what is the difference between these two tables that we have. So, on the first table, in the first sentences, we have Lester said, I will finish my assignment. For the letter B, we have Lester said that he would finish his assignment. And for the next one, we have she said my friend visited yesterday. And for the letter B, we have she said that her friend had visited the day before. For the third one, we have Ian said to Jane, close the door. So for the second column, we have Ian ordered Jane to close the door. For the last column, we have April said, will I pass the test? And for the column B, we have April asked whether she would pass the test. So what is your observation, class? Okay, very good. Your observation is absolutely correct. The group sentences on the left side this one of yours are the direct dialogues of the speakers with quotation mark. As you observe, this sentence have quotation mark. While the group of the sentence on the right side are reported or indirect speech. So, for today's discussion, we will talk about the difference between the indirect speech and reported speech. Also, I will explain different ways and processes to be considered in converting direct speech and reported speech and vice versa. So, at the end of the lesson, you are expected to attain our lesson objectives. We have letter A, identify the difference between direct and reported speech. Letter B, use direct and reported speech appropriately in varied contexts. And last, understand and follow the rules and converting direct speech to reported speech. Before we proceed to our formal discussion about the direct and reported speech, let's have first an activity. Okay. The direction is identify whether the sentences or statements are directed or reported speech. All you have to do is to analyze the sentences whether it is a direct or reported speech. For the number 1, okay, for the number 1, we have Ariel said to me, "Did you get home safely?" Is this a direct or reported speech? Okay, very good. This one is a direct speech. For the number 2, we have Joey said, "I am 1 in a million." Is this a direct or reported speech? Okay, direct speech. For the last one, we have Marvin said that he joined the TikTok dance challenge. Okay, very good. This one is a reported speech. So, who among of you have an idea what is direct speech? Okay, Ian. Okay, very good. Okay. Direct speech is the message of the speaker is conveyed or reported in his own actual words without any changes. It is also known as coded speech. The exact message of the speaker is enclosed by quotation marks. So we have here examples. The boy said, "I ate pancakes." For the second example is, the mother ordered him to clean the house. And for the last examples we have is everything here as John. So direct speech is commonly has a reporting clause, reporting verb, reported clause, and reported verb. So for the example number 1, we have the boy said, "I ate pancakes." So what is the reporting clause in the sentence? Okay, the reporting clause in this sentence is the boy said. So what is the reporting verb in the sentence? Okay, very good. The word said. So, again, what is the reported clause in the sentence? Okay, very good. The reported clause in the sentence is the word ate. So now let's proceed to our next topic is about the reported speech. Do you have any idea what is reported speech is? Okay. Reported speech is also known as indirect speech. It is a reported speech or a report on what someone else said or wrote without using that person's exact words. Unlike direct speech, it doesn't have quotation marks. So as you can observe the difference between indirect and direct speech or reported speech, direct speech have a quotation marks while the reported speech doesn't have a quotation marks. So the first sample is we have the boy said that he had eaten pancakes. And our second sample is the mother ordered him to clean the house. And for the last example, we have John asked if everything was clear. Just a reminder, just like what I said, that direct speech has a quotation marks while the reported speech doesn't have quotation marks. So let's proceed to the basic rules in changing direct speech to reported speech. So we have here a four rules, basic rules in changing direct speech to reported speech. For the number one, we have changes in the persons of the pronoun. The direct speech here is, we have the examples, and the direct speech here is, Anna said, I am happy. So for the reported speech example, we have Anna said that she was happy. So in transforming pronouns from direct to reported speech, you need to change the perspective or point of view. In the example, the first person pronoun I in the direct speech is changed to she, which is the third person pronoun in the reported speech. For Anna is the subject of the reporting speech clause, Anna said, and Anna is a female, so requiring a third person feminine pronoun, the word she. So again, the first person pronouns in the reported clause are always changed according to the subject of the reporting clause. So for the rule number 2, we have changes in verb tense. So in here, reporting clause with the present or future tense verb if the reporting clause is in the present tense or future tense. then there is no change required in the verb of the reported clause, so the verb could be in any tenses. So we have here the example, the direct speech. He says that I am going to a library. So for the reported speech, we have he says that he is going to the library. So in this sample, there is no need to change the verb tense of the reported verb on going, as the verb is in the present progressive tense. So the verb in the reported speech should also be in present progressive tense, is going. So reporting clause with a past tense verb and direct speech. Occasionally, we don't need to change the present tense into the past if the information in direct speech is still true. So example is, she said, in the direct speech example is, she said the sky is blue. So in the reported speech, it can be the, she said that the sky is or was blue. So, but this is only for things we are generated facts, and even the usually we like to change the tense. So take note that the use of the word that is optional in reported speech, both of the following sentences, is correct. So just like changes in the tense of the verb, the direct speech and reported speech, the simple present, let's give an example. So the man said, I like chocolate. So if we are going to convert it in a simple past, in reported speech, it will be the man said that he liked chocolates. So in direct speech, the verb like is in its simple present tense in reported speech. So the verb becomes like with D, which is in its simple past tense. So in changes and tense of the verb, let's give an example again. The direct speech and reported speech. We have present progressive and past progressive. The example is, she said the cat is sleeping. That was in direct speech. While in the reported speech, it will be, she said that the cat was sleeping. So in changes and tense of the verb, we have present perfect and past perfect. So we have the example, they said, we have prepared snacks. And in reported speech, it will be, they said that they had prepared snack. So if the reporting verb is in the past tense, then the reported verb will be changed or depending on its tense. So changes in tense of the verb, we have direct speech again, and reported speech, we have simple past and past perfect. So the example is, in direct speech, my friend announced the meeting started. So in the reported speech, it will be, my friend announced that the meeting had started. So in changes and tense of the verb, we have past progressive and past perfect progressive. For the direct speech example, we have, she said the children were laughing at my cleverness. If we will transfer it into reported speech, it will be, Shane said that the children had been laughing at her cleverness. So again, in changes and tense of the verb, past perfect and past perfect to past perfect, we have, for the direct speech, we have, the boy said, I had a study abroad. So in reported speech, it will be, the boy said that he had studied abroad. In terms of changes in modal verb, we have using the word will or shall, and for the reported speech, using the word would and should. So the example is, Brian said, I will try to finish my report. In reported speech, it will become, Brian said that he will try to finish his report. So in terms of changes in the modal verb, we have the word can and could. So the example in the direct speech will be, my father said to me, I can pick you up. For the reported speech, it will become, my father told me that he could pick me up. So in terms and modal verb, using the words may and might, may for the direct speech and might for the reported speech. The example is, for the direct speech is, Troy said, I may invite them to the party. For the transmitting it into the reported speech, it will become, Troy said that he might invite them to the party. So in terms of changes in the modal verb, we have the word must and must or must had to. For the direct speech, we have the example, Jane said, I must stop smoking. For the reported speech, we have Jane said that she must or had to stop smoking. So for the third basic rules in changing direct speech to reported speech, we have other significant word changes from direct speech to reported speech. Again, we have other significant word changes from the direct speech to reported speech. Just like the example for the direct speech, we have now, here, today, tomorrow, yesterday, tonight, this, and this. For the reported speech, we have the example, then, there, that day, the next day, the day before, that night, and that, and those. So for the last basic rules in changing the direct speech to reported speech, we have conservation of interrogative and imperative direct speech. So the reporting verb said or said to is changed to as demanded or inquired. So for yes or no questions, if a whether is used in a place of that, So we have here an example. For the direct speech, we have Joseph said to Joanna, will you attend the flag ceremony? For the reported speech, we have Joseph asked Joanna if she would attend the flag ceremony. So for WH questions, you are not required to add an if or any other word. Just like the example for the direct, let's give an example for the direct speech. My little brother said to waitress, what are you doing? So in transmitting it into reported speech, it will become, my little brother asked the waitress what she was doing. So for imperative as commands, the reporting verb said or said to is changed to ordered or commanded. So let's give an example. Okay, for the direct speech, we have the librarian said to me, keep quiet. In transmitting it into reported speech, it will become, the librarian ordered me to keep quiet. So for imperative as request, the reporting verb said or told is changed to requested. So for the example is, he told me, please call me. Into reported speech, it will become, he requested me to call him. So that's it, and our discussion. Again, we have the direct speech and reported speech. So that's end our discussion about the direct and reported speech. So let's have first an activity before we end our course. So our activity is, we have the direction. So change the direct speech to reported speech, or identify the reported speech in the sentence. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Again, the direction is change the direct speech to reported speech and identify the reported speech in the sentence. Choose the letter of the correct answer. For the number 1, it is never too late, PJ said. Letter A, PJ said that it is never too late. Letter B, PJ said that it was never too late. Letter C, we have PJ said that it will never be too late. And letter D, we have PJ said that it should never too late. So what is the answer? Okay, very good. The answer is letter B. PJ said that it was never too late. For the number 2, we have, she said, I will buy a car. Again, she said, I will buy a car. Letter A, she said that she will buy a car. Letter B, she said that she would buy a car. Letter C, she said that she will vote a car. Letter D, she said that she would vote a car. What will be the answer? Okay, very good. The answer is letter B. She said that she would buy a car. For the number 3, we have, Ian said, I am washing my hands. So again, Ian said, I am washing my hands. So the choices is letter A. Ian said that he washed his hand. Letter B, Ian said that he is washing his hands. Letter C, Ian said that he was washed his hand. Letter D is Ian said that he was washing his hands. So the answer is letter D. Ian said that he was washing his hands. So for the next one is, we have the direction again. Change the reported speech to direct speech. Identify direct speech in the sentence and choose the letter of the correct answer. So we have the number 1. Cesar said that he would submit the report. Again, Cesar said that he would submit the report. Letter A, Cesar said, I will submit the report. Letter B, Cesar said he will submit the report. Letter C, Cesar said, I would have submitted the report. Letter D, Cesar said he would submit the report. So again, we have the number 1. Cesar said that he would submit the report. Okay, the answer is letter A. For the number 2, Nympha said that she could see the good in others. Again, Nympha said that she could see the good in others. So the choices is letter A. Nympha said, I can see the good in others. Letter B. Nympha said, I could see the good in others. Letter C. Nympha said, she see the good in others. And the answer is letter A. Nympha said, I can see the good in others. For the last number, for the number 3, we have Robert said he might print all the photos. Again, Robert said he might print all the photos. For the letter A, Robert said I may print all the photos. Again, letter A, Robert said I may print all the photos. Letter B, Robert said I may have printed all the photos. Letter C, we have he may print all the photos. And letter D, Robert said he might print all the photos. Again, for the last number 3, Robert said he might print all the photos, and the choices is letter A. Robert said I may print all the photos. Letter B. Robert said I may have printed all the photos. Letter C. Robert said he may print all the photos. And letter D. Robert said he might print all the photos. So the answer is letter A. So is our activity easy or hard? Okay, it is easy. So what is the difference between direct speech and reported speech? Anyone? Okay, direct speech is also called as coded speech, as it uses the exact words of the speaker, as against the indirect speech in term as reported speech. So it is as if narrates what is said by the speaker. So what is the importance of direct and reported speech? Okay, direct speech reveals the tone and moods of the characters. Indirect speech, if not used properly, creates a distance between the utterance and the reader's perception of it. So where is reported speech used? Reported or indirect speech is usually used to talk about the past, so we normally change the tense of the words spoken. We use reporting verbs like say, tell, ask, and we may use the word that to introduce the reported words. So for the another activity, we have here in a piece of paper, write at least 3 examples of direct speech, and that direct speech make it a reported speech. So I will give you 5 minutes to think and write. After that, I will call you to read the examples that you write. So now class, since we are exposed to social media platforms and other sources of media and information, bear in mind the lessons that we can get from the use of direct and reported speech. And that is to never spread fake news without knowing the real story. So always give and search for reliable and accurate sources, and never add information. that is not stated by the speaker because it could result in a misunderstanding. So be careful with your reported messages. So as a good citizens, we have another rule to follow when converting direct speech to reported speech. The rule of the human kindness, and I hope you learned a lot today, and that's the end of our discussion. Your assignment, we have the direction. Change the direct speech into the reported speech. And for the another one, in a piece of paper, write at least 5 examples of direct speech, and that direct speech make it a reported speech. So it is total of 20 points. So again, I am Bernadette A. Lagidao, your pre-service teacher for today's discussion.